Harry, today's topic is going to be on Ruth. She is the great grandmother of King David. So we're going to start off in Ruth chapter 1, verse 16 and 17. But Ruth replied, "Don't urge me to leave you or turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me."
Perfect. She gets it. These two verses are truly profound, a confession of faith. Everyone who lives these two verses has eternal life. The words are right. Did she do it? Very much. So what is the backstory? Could you read Ruth 1:1?
In the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land. So a man from Bethlehem in Judah, together with his wife and two sons, went to live for a while in the country of Moab.
Yes, for a while. A man from Bethlehem took his wife and two sons on a road trip. The reason? There was a famine in Israel. Why the famine? There was sin in the land. Things were not good. It was the time of the judges. Could you read the last verse of Judges, please?
It says, "In those days, Israel had no king. Everyone did as they saw fit."
Again and again, everyone did their own thing. So God did his thing. He punished the people with a famine. In the book of Joshua, God's promise, as you choose, I reward. Obedience to God brought good stuff, family, food, health, wealth, whatever God could do for them. And vice versa. Disobedience brought destruction and famine, as we see here. This man, Elimelech, went to Moab, about 75 miles away. He could have had blessings at home by serving God. He went for the hope of a better life, greener pastures, we call it. Was that the answer? No. Elimelech died. It was a sin to take his family away from the land that God had given them. The two sons married Moab women. Now they're even farther from God. Then the two sons died. Super sad. Moved away from God, and all the men have died. Now we have Naomi and her two daughters-in-law, Ruth and Orpah. Naomi decides it's time to go home. The daughters-in-law go with her. They like her. She must have presented a good spirit or an attitude about Israel and the promises of a living God. Those promises have worked against them in Moab, and God punished them. As they head out, Naomi paints a grim picture for the girls she loves and tells them to go back home. Orpah leaves reluctantly. Ruth tells Naomi what we read earlier. I love it. So how does that turn out? The way it always turns out when we choose the living God. Could you read chapter 2, verse 2?
It says, "And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, 'Let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind anyone whose eyes I find favor.' Naomi said to her, 'Go ahead, my daughter.'"
Ruth went to work. Always a good plan. God blessed the path. She, by chance, God ordained, ended up gleaning grain in the field of a godly man. Boaz, the man, admired her humility and responsibility, true traits that God also blesses. She stayed for the whole harvest season, 2 months of hard work. Yes, good, godly people, their story always ends well. Boaz and Ruth were married and had a son called Obed. Obed's son is Jesse, whose eighth son is King David. So how did this all happen? Could you read Ruth 1:16 and 17 again?
But Ruth replied, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me."
Yeah, that's really the essence of it. A
Mhm.
promise made and a promise kept, and a glorious outcome. I love the story.
Amen. Thanks a lot for this, Harry.